We're good.
So before we start, we would just like to take a moment to recognize David Weber for his 10 years of appreciation for David's 10 years and all his wonderful contributions through those years, particularly when it came to legal items and things where no one else knew what to make of it. We always turn to you. So,
thank you. Appreciate
with
it.
appreciation.
That's awesome.
Excuse me.
Actually, in 10 years, too.
23 years. Picture, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
23 years.
23 years.
All right.
Started at the PTA.
Why don't you hold this?
Yeah.
All right.
Very
Well,
good.
congratulations.
I think
And you're over the wall. Congratulations.
Don't have to worry about being on time anymore.
It's like,
It's like your grandfather come in whenever you want.
Yeah, right?
Is Anthony home with us?
Anthony just texted me and said he will not be calling in. So he has his director's report there.
Okay.
So how do you want to handle?
So, okay, first off, let's just consider the minutes from the November 20th. Did everyone who was here last month get a chance to take a look at the minutes? Any corrections, comments? Hearing none, the minutes are accepted. You get them, right? After?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just never saw it.
Sorry, I think it's like Thanksgiving week or something, so I never.
Okay. All right. So at this point, I would normally turn the meeting over to Anthony, but I'm going to turn it over to Sally, and
Okay.
you're going to say.
Tell me what I'm going to say.
At this point, we're going to hear an act on the election of 2025 officers.
Okay.
And we're going to start with, is there a motion for the chair for 2025?
Okay. So
Got all that?
at this point, we're going to start the election for the 2025 officers. Is there anyone wanting to make a motion for the chairman for the 2025? Okay, Chris?
I would like to make a motion to reapprove Brian Rowe for 2025 chairman of the Park and Rec Commission, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay. Anyone else have any motions or? Okay, so now what happens? Okay, Bill the one. All in favor?
Any other
other nominations
before we go to
a vote? No?
Okay.
Hearing that, all in favor? Any opposed?
Any abstain?
Any abstain?
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Kelly, if it's okay with you, I'll take over.
Go for it.
All right. So next up, we need a motion for someone for vice chair. And
Okay. Chris?
Well, I'll.
Oh.
All right, hold on, yeah, I don't want to, all right.
If someone's going to make a motion, we need someone to make a motion. If someone's going to make a motion, I will make a motion. And I will make a motion for Bridget as vice chair.
I will second.
Any other motions? Hearing none, all in favor of Bridget? Opposed? Abstained? Okay. And now we need a motion for secretary. Anyone?
I'll make a motion. For Dylan to be secretary.
Brian looked at it all. Oh, okay.
There you go. Draft there it is. Okay, do we have a second? All right. Any other nominations? All right. Hang on. All those in favor? Big hand up. Opposed? Abstained? All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. The paperwork, we have the calendar for the 2025 schedule, and you'll see that April has been moved because of the spring school break. Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Karen, any discussion? All those in favor? There, we're going to be quick. Okay, Jen's not here, so we don't have a board of education report. There was just a single event that was approved by Anthony, the 7th annual Sunset 5K this week. That's been 7 years. So, Joseph, I think you know, but Tim, to your benefit, items that come before us after 3 years, if there's hasn't been any substantial change, you're the chair for next year. So if there hasn't been any substantial change, Anthony can approve without coming before us. There's a lot of events where it's just every year they came and it was a rush stamp, so we said, okay, let's make this easier. And we made the decision, things like memorial benches, they don't have to come before us because they're always vetted before they come here anyhow, so that can be. Now there are exceptions, things such as carnivals or major events where there's alcohol, the clam jam, Fairview Clam Jam. Those things, we require that they come before us every year. But things such as the 5K that's been held for 7 years, Anthony just.
Yep, got it.
We just skipped over, but if you want, before that report.
Yes. So first, again, my apologies that I wasn't able to make the last 2 meetings. So I went back, looked over the agendas just to see what have been some recent topics. Back in October or November, we approved Stratfield and Tomlinson partial roof projects. Impact here is that therefore those will not be summer campsites. But I believe that has already been communicated between the two, between the district and Parks and Rec, so that Anthony's well aware of that. We did approve school calendar. We obviously, just as Parks and Rec is, we're in the midst of budget warming up. So far we've discussed our priorities, but we'll get the presentation the first week of January. And all we know is that it's a quote-unquote tight budget. We're not expecting a lot of new initiatives, but that'll be coming up. The other big topics that we've had, besides voting on the school calendar, were tech devices and the use of technology throughout the district, and really trying to tackle that in a meaningful way. A lot of parents are starting to weigh in on that topic, and so we'll see what direction we're going to go with that. And then finally, at our last meeting, we did have conversation about the POCD, which obviously is before the TP&Z, and the fact that there is little education related in that, despite the fact that what the POCD is doing has a very strong impact on schools and enrollment, recent issues of racial imbalance, and so we are reaching out to TP&Z to try to get an education section in and a few more references to things that are priorities, at least from our perspective. And then finally, the First Selectman has convened a townwide facility working group to try to work through some issues. This is especially prompted by what's going on with Dwight and what direction are we going to go in with there. What do we, as a Board of Ed, have answers to? What do we not? And what did we need some additional funding to get answers for in terms of what will the project actually cost and what's the most, the best plan moving forward. So we have some work to do on that. So that was a quick throwing it at you kind of thing. Happy to answer if there are any questions.
Question. Any update on like Ward and Thursday up there?
So thank you for bringing that up, because after we had added it into what we were recommending for as a capital project, it was not taken up by the Board of Finance, and now I'm losing the timing on this. I think it might have been at the beginning of November. In their first run-through of projects that they're moving forward, they did not move that forward, and so several of us reached out to say what's going on with that, and we were assured by the chair that this will likely come up again, no promises, but likely come up again in February. I am not Board of Finance expert enough to know what's the significance of February versus then, but there were certain projects that they felt we need to move forward quickly with these, and that wasn't one that was critical because the dollar amount is far less than the other capital projects we were moving forward. But that said, thank you for bringing it up, because I certainly hope that once it is supposed to be on the agenda, or hopefully will be considered, really hoping people will reach out to them, because this would be a very good moment after this, at least from the Board of Ed perspective. We have, how shall we say, a lot of expensive projects coming up, and there's a certain amount that we like to try to allocate to our facilities and our buildings a year, and we do have room. And again, we know that there's a lot of town priorities. We're not taking anything away from that, but picking up another turf field would really be, it's a huge need. And so we are hoping to get that through in February. Thank you for asking.
Any other questions? By the way, you missed the ceremony. This is David's last meeting.
Oh, very nice. Well, I had my notes here for what I'm bringing back to the Board of Ed for my report. So how many years is this?
10, but all town boards and commissions, 23.
Oh, damn.
Including the Board of Ed.
Yes. Oh, I'm well aware.
All my hair and my face.
Thank you. And the only other thing that's in your packet, or that your depth, is the director's report. Looks like the highlights, 2024, new batting cage, Owen Fish and Melville, of the jobs that were projects that were completed. New batting cage, Owen Fish and Melville, the driving range upgrade at Richardson, and a total of 17 major projects completed. The budget process has started, but a little later than usual, and we'll hear more about that. And then I guess in 25, 3 major projects that are going to be considered the 3 for us, and then I guess 1 at golf course, and ours are $150,000 to replace the playground at Rugby Park, $500,000 to replace Veterans Park tennis courts, and $1.5 million to convert the current pilot house at 240 Calvary Street.
Yep. Kelly, could you provide any details on the golf course project?
It's continuation of the with the driving range and those type of things they're trying to do, the upgrades. Yeah.
In front of, as you come in, and you have the parking lot there, as you come into that area to the left, they're creating a short game practice, expanding where the sand trap is.
Got it. Is there anything going on at Part 3?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Did they have to get any sort of conservation?
They work with all those bodies beforehand on all of the projects.
And we have no update to the softball field in the back or anything else that we and as a couple of us were talking earlier, if anyone does ask, if we've gotten some questions about the menorah on the town green, that usually we are involved with the lighting of the menorah on Sherman Green and various things. We had nothing to do with that. First Selectman Gerber and the town attorney reviewed that, and they made the initially we heard a few things, and you probably all saw it in the newspapers, but I haven't heard anything in the last week. That's what was in the newspapers. So,
I was away, but SantaCon didn't go well this year?
27,000 people.
Oh my God.
4 to 5,000. 4 to 5,000.
The drone videos were.
Oh my God.
bonkers.
Just watching them all stumble home was like the best today.
And I don't know if you recall
If you lay down the street like a reindeer.
when FAU was in this past year, talking about Clam Jam at Penfield, we talked about how we want to be really good neighbors, but we need something in return, and specifically, SantaCon, you got to get a handle on that. Yeah, we got it under control. So I don't know what the number was last year when the beach was, all the garbage was there because of the weather, but it wasn't 45,000. So I think every year it's getting bigger and bigger.
Well, it's really quite regional.
I think Anthony has numbers that he can share at our next meeting because they have like a geo tracking based on cell phones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not children though. Anybody over a certain age.
Okay, unless there's anything else. Please, raise your hand. Yes, okay.
I'd just like to introduce myself, Amy.
I apologize.
No problem. First of all, it's nice to meet everybody here tonight, so thanks for being so welcoming. And I feel like I have big shoes to fill, Dave. I didn't know you before tonight, but thank you. Congratulations. Appreciate it. I've lived in Fairfield about 30 years with my wife, and our kids went to some of the public and private schools in the area in Fairfield. I was a golf course superintendent for 40 years at the Country Club of Darien. And I retired from that a couple of years ago. And now I work a part-time job over at the Southport Congregational Church. I work over there, take care of the building and the grounds over there. And, you know, we go to the beach all the time. We go over to Mohegan Lake. I'm a pickleball addict. So I've been all around town playing pickleball, and I'm with all the people that play pickleball. So I'm looking forward to bringing some of the stuff that I know and trying to help this committee and the town to be better. So I look forward to it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Anything else? Now we're adjourned.
Happy holidays, everyone. Happy
Yes,
holidays.
you too. Happy holidays.
Yep.
Just realized